Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris. It's your boy Chris. It's another amazing episode of Financipation. This channel is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth. And it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. On this channel, everybody, I give you a six-figure MBA level worth of investing in financial knowledge for free here on YouTube. And the things that people typically spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn in business school, I give you for free here on YouTube. Okay? So today, guys, I got an interesting question from one of my subscribers, and I want to more or less answer that question and kind of go into a couple of different things that they're talking about. So here we go. It's two questions, okay? So, hello, Chris. I watch your channel a lot, and I am an immigrant from Kingston, Jamaica. I just immigrated into the United States of America last year. I'm at the university, and I'm dating an American guy who wants to have a child with me. He doesn't want to get married because he believes that marriage is outdated and that divorce hurts men in America more than it hurts women. He doesn't have a job and he already has a 4-year-old son. And he says he does not have a relationship with his son or his baby's mother. I follow your channel, and what advice would you give me about dating this guy? And what financial advice would you give me, period, as I just got to America? Wow. All right, I'm going to give you this answer, both girls, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it, okay? This guy is a complete and utter loser. Leave him immediately. He's a simpy, weak beta male. He's a disgrace to manhood, and he's the type of scumbags and dirtbags in America we're better off without, okay? So if this idiot walked out on his daughter, what do you think he's going to do to you after he gets you pregnant? And in regards to the whole concept about marriage being outdated, I disagree completely with that. Marriage is fundamentally the best institution to allow human beings to become fully functioning adults. And in regards to this concept about marriage being outdated, 80% of the men right now who sit in federal prisons basically grew up without a father. 80%, you are literally 4 times more likely to move into poverty if you grow up in a single parent household, and you're 4 times more likely to move out of poverty if you grow up in a nuclear 2-parent household. Marriage is the fundamental building block for any community, any culture, any nation. And anybody talking about marriage is outdated, any man talking about he wants to have a baby with you and he does not want to marry you first is an idiot. Lastly, it's much harder for a woman who has a kid to find a good man as opposed to a woman who does not have a kid, to find a good man. So this guy is a complete and utter loser. If you were my daughter, and if this individual was dating my sister, me and this man would have a conversation. We would talk one time. It would be the first and the last time we ever talked, and he would never see me again. Simple as that. The guy's a loser. Leave him. Now, more importantly, I want to talk about your finances, okay? And the reason I say more importantly is because from my experience, when you get financially literate, the quality of men who are going to come into your life are vastly better or whatever, because you're not going to be supporting pookies and ray-rays. You're not going to be supporting losers and bums, okay? So the first thing I'm going to tell you as an immigrant, particularly coming to this country, and I actually married an immigrant woman. So full disclosure, this question hits me a little harder because I married an immigrant, so I kind of know what you guys deal with. My first thing I'm gonna tell you is this: find your vehicle, okay? So whether you want to join the Marine Corps, whether you want to learn a trade and go into construction, whether you want to become an auto mechanic, whether you want to go to university and become potentially a scientist, an engineer, a doctor, a mathematician, an accountant, whether you want to just become an entrepreneur, as an immigrant, you need to find your vehicle here in the United States, because in America, you are going to have to work extremely hard to make it in this country. Contrary to popular belief or whatever, as an American, we work actually more hours than almost most other industrialized countries in the world, and we get less vacation. So if you are an immigrant coming into America, I'm gonna tell you right now, get ready to work, because you are going to work extremely hard. On a bright note, I will say this: coming from an immigrant background, you guys are predisposed to be more entrepreneurial, because in the countries you come from, people start businesses a lot more so than working for other people. And as it currently stands, 20% of all businesses that are started in America last year or whatever, and this year, were started by immigrants. So my advice is find your vehicle, and by your vehicle, find your method of employment so that you can pretty much support yourself and support your family and possibly support your kids. America is not a perfect country. We factor in mass shootings, police brutality, methamphetamine and heroin essentially taking over rural America right now, and lots of people being affected. There are lots of issues that are currently going on in America. But having said that, the dope thing about the United States of America is that in this country, you literally can become anything that you want. In one generation, you can go from living in the projects to being a billionaire. You can go from living in the trailer parks to being a decamillionaire. In America, you can do that, okay? So take full advantage of all the opportunities, okay, that this country presents itself. Next, I want you to start a budget, okay? So I have a free Financipation budget below that I've attached, and I want you to essentially be able to itemize where are you spending your money. What are you spending your money on or whatever? I want you to figure out where you can save your money. And I want you to take the money that you are saving and I want you to invest it into some of the investments that I'm going to talk about later on. So the next step I want you to do is start a budget. The third thing I want you to do is I want you to have a 3-month emergency fund, okay? I actually have a separate video about this one, but in general, because you've already created this budget, you need to basically know exactly how much money you spend every month on dates, on food, on mortgage, on your rent, on your cars or whatever. Figure out exactly what you're spending your money on. And from there, you can determine, okay, if I spend $4,000 every month pretty much on all my expenses, in order for me to have a 3-month emergency fund, I need to have obviously $12,000 saved up or whatever. And my advice is in this emergency fund, you need to park it in a high interest online account, such as Marcus Goldman Sachs or something like that. Okay. And I have a separate video about that as well. Next, I want you to get a credit card. In America, unfortunately, you have to have a credit score to buy typically large objects like homes, like cars, and to secure business loans. So in America, you actually have to have a credit score. And this is one of those kind of things that a lot of immigrants don't really pick up on because in a lot of other countries, a credit score and the concept of credit cards are kind of foreign to them or whatever. But basically, get a credit card every month, people. And when you get that credit card, I want you to pay it off every month. And if you do that, you'll have a credit score above 700, probably in less than 9 months, okay? And I know this is a popular guy in Tennessee. He says, don't get a credit card. Ignore him on this subject, okay? If you're an American, you're a minority or whatever, you had better have a credit score. And the higher your credit score is, it gives people one less reason to discriminate against you as far as giving you a loan, okay? Next, I want you to start a side hustle, okay? So immigrants kind of actually have an advantage about this because you guys typically come from countries where people push owning your own bakery, owning your own taxi service or whatever, owning your own boutique, owning your own Airbnb. A lot of immigrants, they push entrepreneurship a lot more than our culture pushes. In America, they tell us basically go to college, work for someone else for 40 years. In immigrant countries, they tell them to essentially start a business. And as it currently stands, 20% of all businesses, as I said earlier, 20% of all businesses in America last year were actually started by immigrants. And I think it's also another factor when you factor in racism, educational discrimination, cultural upbringing, and other factors. Immigrants are to some extent kind of predisposed to want to come to America and start a business or whatever. So my advice is simple. Now that you're already working your 40 to 50 hours a week in construction, you're already working your 40 to 50 hours a week at a car detailing plant. You're already working your 40 to 50 hours a week at a local Walmart or whatever. Start a side business and work that side business 20 to 30 hours a week in addition to the 40 to 50 hours a week you're actually working already for somebody else. And if you do that within 5 to 10 years, I guarantee your side business will most likely supplant your actual corporate America job, or it will supplant the money, what you make basically working from a degree you got in college, okay? Next, I want you to get 401k match. So if you're working for the federal government, if you're working as an accountant, if you're working as a dentist, if you're working in construction, a lot of these companies actually pay you and they actually match a certain amount that you put towards your 401k. So let me give you an example. Let's say you work for an employer, right? And let's say for this particular employer, if they match the first $2,000 that you put into your 401k account. Now, a lot of immigrants that come to this country, this is somewhat of a foreign concept, but in America, if a company matches the first $2,000 that you put into your 401k for free, that will give you an additional $2,000. So this is kind of how it looks. Imagine if you walked up to me and gave me $2,000 on Valentine's Day because I told you I would give you $4,000 on Christmas Day. That means you would get $2,000 for free. That's essentially what the 401k match is, okay, people? So take full advantage if you are an immigrant of your employer's 401k match, because the only thing that's better than money is free money. And the 401k match is free money. All right, before we go any further, everybody, I want you to please hit that notification button so that you can subscribe to my channel and you know when I'm dropping new content, okay? Please hit that like button, please share, please comment, please subscribe, okay? It helps the algorithm and I thoroughly enjoy giving you guys free content. Next, if you're an immigrant, I want you to max out your Roth IRA. So once you've been in America a little bit longer and your job is going well, your career is going okay, your side business is starting to bring in a couple $1,000s every month, you have a little bit more income, okay? And now is the time that I want you to max out your Roth IRA. So at the time I'm recording this in 2022, you can put $6,000 every year into your Roth IRA, okay? Now this is a tax efficient account, okay? So it grows tax-free. So when you put your money into it, it grows tax-free. And on top of it, it also lowers your taxable income. So the next step, if you're an immigrant, I want you to do is I want you to max out your Roth IRA. Next, Number 8, I want you to pay off your debts, okay? So the average American has roughly $5,800 of credit card debt. One serious advantage, I've even seen this with my wife's family, that immigrants have over Americans is that the countries that you guys come from, typically they don't market credit and debt to you guys nearly as aggressively as they do it to us here in the United States, okay? So immigrants, I find you guys kind of somewhat do a better job of handling debt, because when you first move to America, you don't have like the student loans you have to deal with. You don't have like just the mass marketing and everything when it comes to buy this, purchase this, purchase this. So typically speaking, immigrants actually have lower credit card debt than most Americans do. So my advice is simple, however. Pay off all your debts, okay? That's the next step that I want you to do. My advice is I say start with the smallest or whatever debt first or whatever, and then work your way up to the bigger ones. I call that the debt shotgun, if you will, because you're literally blowing away all your debt. So start off with the smallest debts or whatever, then go to the biggest ones, okay? That's my advice. Next, I want you to max out your HSA account. I actually have a separate video about that, so go ahead and watch that video, okay? At the time I'm recording this, you can put approximately $3,600 every year into your HSA account if you're single. Now, if you're married, like I am, you can put $7,200 every year into your HSA account. And the thing about the HSA account, I have a separate video about this, is it is the absolute gold standard when it comes to investing, because it's a triple tax advantage. You get basically all your contributions are tax free. Your income interest rates on and the amount that grows on or whatever, that's tax free. So the money that you make on it is tax free. And then third or whatever, the withdrawals for any approved medical expenses or whatever, those are also tax free. So HSAs in my account are the golden road essentially. Once you get to the point where you can start maxing out your HSA account, you should do it every year, because it's literally like a better Roth IRA to some extent. Next, index fund investing, okay? So I actually have a separate video about this, and I'm not really gonna go too much into it, but I'll say it like this. 90% of mutual fund managers and investing advisors cannot beat the stock market over a 15-year period. In other words, if you go with one of these Facebook finance gurus or one of these WhatsApp group finance gurus or whatever, or you go to some brick and mortar company that specializes in investing for you, you are guaranteed to lose money 90% of the time over a 15-year period going with one of these people instead of basically going with a total stock market index fund. It's a much better investment to go with SWTSX with Charles Schwab, FSKAX with Fidelity, or VTSAX with Vanguard. Those are all total stock market index funds. And it is much better to go with those total stock market index funds instead of going with some mutual fund manager. So my advice is simple. Start investing in total stock market index funds, okay? And I actually have a separate video or whatever, so you can check that out. Next, and lastly, become a real estate investor. So 40% of millionaires in the United States are in real estate. 193 billionaires in the world are in real estate. So as an immigrant, a lot of you individuals who come to this country as an immigrant, real estate is essentially what you ultimately want to get into doing. Why? Because it's very, very simple. God, he makes more people, but he does not make more land. And people are always going to need a place to live. It's as simple as that, okay? So this is what I want you to do as an immigrant or whatever. Lastly, I want you to buy a house. I want you to rehab that house. I want you to refinance that house. Then I want you to rent that house out to other people, okay? 5 or 6 years later, I want you to do the exact same thing. So that is essentially, if you were an immigrant fresh to this country, that is how I want you to build your generational wealth. Because in America, there is no excuse why a person in America cannot die a millionaire. I'm serious about that. Especially if you come here and you want to work hard, you make good investments, you basically surround yourself with the right people. As I said earlier, there's no reason why a person in this country, barring some kind of crazy medical expenses, things of that nature, why you cannot retire a millionaire. It's as simple as that. So as I said, everybody, this channel Financipation is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth, and it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Please follow me on Instagram at @thereal_Financipation. You can follow me on my Facebook page, Financipation. Please check out some of my my e-products below as well. And additionally, I have a financial blog that's going to be coming out very soon. Take it easy, everybody. It's your boy, Chris. I'm out. Peace, peace. And thank you for that question, by the way, guys. I love answering questions, so keep sending them my way, okay? Peace, peace.